like from second place on down, the point spread is very, very thin, which means top 5 is always going to be shifting around and being contention. But Diazbiffle, with the way that they're playing, you mentioned it best at the top of the show, don't fix what's not broken. They win week 1, they win week 2, they've stayed together, and now with a lot of rosters shifting for various different reasons, staying consistent makes you even stronger in lobbies like this, and it's been paying off. We'll see how far they can go. But on our Game 2 winner, we got Emrias and Co. as they're looking to start off strong and win another game.
And seems to be that recurring strat we talked about during game number 1, is these teams landing on the outside of zone and then rotating in. You notice how white line on the top left of their map means they gotta go. Listen, you're far in zone. Don't be late on this, because the first zone comes in quick. But no need for them. They're going to actually loot up pretty quickly. Magnum's going to be the starting pistol as well, so just got to be known of that for regain. You know, if you don't want to take any fights, you don't have the X12, X13 in hand. It's going to be, a good old reliable Magnum.
That's right. Hey, sometimes you just got to work with what you got. I believe this is an area Aydan's crew was going to. Obviously, Aydan not playing this week, but they might still maybe be frequenting this area. It could stop them from rotating out, but it is going to be a bit of a quiet rotation, it seems so far, which could explain, right, Lucky, their low eliminations. And I say low, 14 is still very respectable in a stack lobby like this. But we've talked about 20 kind of being that magic number. But if they're starting slow like this, getting kitted up, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, it could also hinder them from getting a lot of eliminations towards the end.
Yeah, of course, something we noticed with Team Diaz is they're landing center zone and they get into the action within the first, I'd say, minute, right? Another area I think players don't really know about too much is Mall. Mall, the map was designed to have the most money on the entire map. You can get your loadout there in just a few seconds, and it was uncontested, I believe, the first map. So if players start to realize that, they can get their loadout in just a few seconds and get going, and there's a lot of different POIs on this map like that.
A lot of POIs indeed, but seems like all things are going to be quiet. We switch on to Wars, who should be in the thick of it. And I'm, at least with the way they're moving and the way they're grooving, I think they are. And Junior Kriegs is already going to pick up Nartarsha. So Nartarsha, a very talented player in her own right. And with that 20 going to 19 trios, I think her roster's gone, which is one of the lowest placings I've seen her get in a while.
Right, and that's gonna be a quick elimination, but Wars is getting an armor break on another team, so they're right. They finished Natasha's team. They're already back into another team with the action. They got 1 elimination already coming in from Wars, so probably 3 is sitting around with this team unless they were able to cycle Natasha's team just a bit. MP7's gonna be the weapon of choice, which is still a good weapon to have off rip. The shots are gonna look good to connect. Following through.
Oh, tracker too.
Yeah.
Nice. Into the tunnel we go. The tracker ends up paying dividends. Tracker's big, especially whenever you're hunting as many teams as you're hunting here. If you're an aggro team, have that tracker perk on and you can just absolutely dominate. Mortar strike, clear out the roof, which I guess, Lucky, that tells me maybe there's someone up and above, and Wars and them, they want to slowly make their way up if they can.
Yeah, and how important are those kill streaks, right? You call that mortar strike in. It might not get you any eliminations, but it's, letting teams know, like, hey, don't push. You're not able to push. We got the mortar strike coming in, a P strike coming in, get a little aggro. Evan, they go down. Junior and Wars able to take him out in a 2-1 split.
Man, I tell you, Lucky, Super Evan just not having a good time in weeks 1 and week 2, and it looks like a lot of frustration in week 3 as well. You talked about the differences, or at least you've discussed what Resurgence is all about. But I mean, talk to me about that transition from traditional Warzone to Resurgence, and why some players and teams might not transition well.
Right, you're looking at a World Series Warzone lobby, Battle Royale, a lot bigger of a map, but it's going to be a little bit more disciplined, right? You don't have many lives to play with, and we're going to see flanks just fall down like that, but it's okay. Alb's up, you get back up in a couple seconds, Swixy about to spawn back in, and that's where Resurgence is going to play a big role in just being a little bit more aggro, right? You got to push things as a team, the 2-1 splits. You're not now team pushing a 3-on-3, you're pushing maybe a 2-on-1, you got to follow up quickly, your teammate goes down, well, you're on radar now, so you got to expect everything. It's faster, a lot faster.
Dude, a lot faster. And that's actually why you like it, right? You like that speed. And I think a lot of public players, and you said this when we were on break a little bit ago, a lot of pub players might like playing Resurgence because you could get into a fight, you get in quickly, but it extends your life because you have that Resurgence available, which is a great thing, and it keeps things snappy versus, loading into a traditional Warzone map, and then all of a sudden, you wait 20 minutes, now you're dead, and you got to do it all again.
Yeah, I think Resurgence is a good mixture of both multiplayer than the traditional Warzone aspect. And, you know, not everyone has 8 hours a day to play. You know, they want to drop in, get a couple of kills, you know. That's where Resurgence comes into play, you know.
That's right, dude. You finish work, man. You're like my age 31, you finish work, dude. I'm going to go and chill and play some Warzone. And then you get murked by people like you, Lucky, all right? That just ruined my night. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm getting off. But not jokes aside, hey, Lucky, I'd probably go toe-to-toe with you. I'm joking.
I would love to. We should get that going. And that team's great.
No, we shouldn't. Don't expose me. Don't expose me. I'm terrible. But hey, I got others. Spider Tiff, Goj, all them, you could take them on. Attract trying to get away. Smixy and them last game, Lucky, they didn't have the best of luck. We saw them kind of, you know, hanging out. They were constantly getting pressured. Flank was forced to stay alive, so Smixy and Attract could get back into play. This time around, they're kind of in the same situation. They're now in a big fight. They are being gate kept. They've got to rotate a little bit in, so not too far of a rotation, but I want to see this trio do a lot better this round than before.
Yeah, they're going to slowly start working up these buildings, and something unique about these buildings is I think about 80% of them, when working up, you'll have the right-hand side advantage. Right, so you have the advantage over the person on high ground if played right. One person's going to be behind him. Tyler's going to pick in. Broden, wow, she's turning and burning. Okay. Okay. I see it, Smixy. The nades are coming in. Oh, no.
I know, the nades, dude. We were on her perspective before, I think in map number 2, and she was stuck in a corner, and Nade just came in. She gets pressured. What is going? I swear this team, much like Super Evan, they get these goated squads that just push into them. Nades seem to have such a tremendous effect. They can't catch a break.
Oh, man, and D is there. He's ready. He got Smixy's team out. He's ready to find another squad, and it might be the positioning, right? We talked about Smixy getting gate kept. It was probably by Team Diaz, but Diaz noticed that they were in a little bit of a better power position. Played a little bit accurate, and they said, we want these kills. We need these eliminations. Move over, Smixy. We got to get these, okay? She's going to get a quick elimination. 4 under the bell. 18 teams remaining for Diaz. It's looking spicy.
Looking spicy indeed, brother. I'm telling you, they just do not slow down. They're absolutely insane. They're incredible, and we know the one team that's looking to challenge them is going to be Hisoka. If it is going to be Hisoka today, right now they're in 3rd, but there's a ton of teams fighting for position, at least fighting for first. $10,000. That's a lot of money, Lucky. So, I mean, hey, you got to fight tooth and nail for that.
Yeah, you know, just like Resurgence, right? You're not out until your whole team's out. It's the same thing with the tournament. You know, you're playing up until, I'd say, game 6, and that's when things will get tight. It's anybody's game at the beginning, though. Then you get end game of both the game and the tournament. Things will close down, so.
Yeah, well said on that, dude. That's a perfect way to put it, really. It's because, you know, you get towards game 6, the point spread starts to get a little bit tighter, and you know you only have 2 more games left. The nerves start coming to shaky hand syndrome is a real thing. Shifty down. We see his perspective. He'll be back into the mix at least. Or now, excuse me, he's gone again. Biffle might be gone too. And you really got to be careful here and disengage. And that's something, Lucky, by the way, I've grown to appreciate about Warzone pros, is their ability not only to fight quickly, but disengage quickly when they only have a sliver of health.
Yeah, it's all about, you know, re-engaging to disengage to re-engage, the whole gang. But look at this. Gary's got the sniper. One of the first times we're seeing a sniper on this team right now. Gary's going to have, and that with the ISO. Interesting. Okay, a lot of times snipers will be used with the Chimera, just because it's a little bit better of a sniper support. He's the last one alive, 8 seconds remaining. He's going to slow it down. Smoke out. Post up in here. Buy stations come into play. That's huge. Look at that. Portable buy.
Portable buy right there, like you said. Who was it who said it was coming? He says, nah, I gotta impress Lucky because he's on the desk. So hey, hopefully he can do that today. I'm sure he can. He's an absolute unit. At least for Unrational, he's done his part staying up as long as he can so his teammates can get back into the fight. And he's going to be the only sniper. Just to reiterate everybody out there, there's only 1 sniper per team, per trio. We always highlight Breadman, but Unrational has his own, so he's going to be the guy most likely hanging back, and then you're going to have Scummin and Gorgo, who's going to be pushing up aggressively.
Yeah, and notice that Gary did throw that portable buy station on him, but another team said, nope, you're not going to get that. They shot it down. Now it's out in the open. Gary's taking his chances. Behind the armor box, going to go back into cover. They're having a little bit of difficulty kind of reposition themselves, right? Getting their loadout, getting ready for endgame, because now they got 10 seconds. They come back. This is it, right? They have no more chances. No, Gary's not in the position to buy him back, so it's going to be a tough endgame for them.
Tough endgame indeed, but hey, listen, $10,000 isn't going to be earned without going through some tough times. Now, Resurgence is disabled. We're down to 15 total teams, and this is where you don't want to lose your life. For DJ Moss, it's exactly when he loses his life. So things start to get a bit tense for that roster. Meanwhile, back onto Wars. Let's see what he's going to be up to. He's definitely gotten scrappy this game as he's at 6 eliminations, so good on him for doing so. He's going to be just on the edge of the zone. Most likely, no team is going to be behind them, so it's going to be all about pushing forward.
Absolutely, and one thing you guys could take away from watching at home, if you're trying to improve yourself as a Call of Duty player, Warzone Resurgence, is almost every single fight you're seeing these players take, no matter who we're watching, they're throwing a live ping on, right? They're trying to track them, where they're going after that. They're huge. Drones can be put into play. They're snaking this area. They're gonna hold their hunker down right here.
That's it. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, take your time, pace it out. They're probably happy with the elims they've got. Doesn't look like good prospects to push up. I did see a couple of pings, though, so they do have some pings up ahead. And now they're going to start moving, Lucky. But where do you go from here? There's a lot of open space.
Yeah, you know what? When you're about 4th zone closing and going on 5th, it's a little bit hard to play the center zone. Resurgence is not as forgiving with their zone pulls, not as predictable. They'll throw you across the map if they want to. So, you know, teams don't want to overextend to center zone because they might find themselves at a disadvantage. War's now going to go ahead and just hold down this area. Edge zone. Doesn't have to worry about his back. Players on his right-hand side. They're going to spread out a little bit. They saw Diaz do it game 1. They're going to do it game 2. That live ping's coming into play, too. That's going to be Creams with the knock and a full. That's entry, man. I'm going to slow it down.
I think you do. Hisoka falls. Hisoka falls, and a trio is eliminated. I'm curious if this is going to be one of their worst placements yet. They were hovering around 3rd place, but if they get eliminated in 14th place, you got to think maybe, just maybe, they're going to fall a little bit further down. Mortar Strike will force this crew inside of the building. Nobody's pushed them just yet against staying on the edge, but you mentioned it best, Lucky. Sometimes those Mortar Strikes, those PAs, is about repositioning your opponents so you could set up for a better attack.
Yeah, and just like that, also take a look at the next zone. You know, if you were center zone, maze, we might not even see this zone go to 7th right now because this next zone is about to be all out in the open. They're going to be fighting in a maze. Check your corners because they could be anywhere in this next coming zone. Also, if these players can manage to get a gas mask, they could hold top fire just for a second longer.
True.
Right?
True, dude. I love watching Warzone in the gas mask plays. I do,
yeah.
And it's so innovative, and the way you do that is just hang out in the gas, rotate around, make a push. We saw it last game, right? Hanging out on the bridge. Amrias, gas play, comes in, smokes her out, hops from the bridge over to the other land. He ends up winning the game. So gas plays. If you're not playing in the gas, you're not winning.
Yeah, absolutely. And the flares can be also in the back pocket. But in a lobby like this, if you have that idea, there's a high chance there's a couple other people who have the same idea. And it looks like they're going to get in a gun engagement on the 2nd story of fire. He is also at the edge zone. Ooh, he's going to go fall to Intex. And there's the flare, though. There's the flare. Back in the mix like nothing happened.
How many flares can you typically hold, or do you typically hold in your inventory?
You know what? I usually am playing solo, but in a lobby like this, I'm picking every flare I can possibly find. Right. I'm playing a little bit slower, and if I'm on Diaz's team, I'm letting Diaz and stage go crazy. Hey, I got your flare. Boom, you're back in. Boom, you're back in. I got 7 in my pocket. You know, like we're good to go.
I love the way you talk, man. It's just so energetic. Yo, they're going after, they're frying, man. I got 7 racks. I'm ready to bite you back.
Speaking about 7, he's got 7 eliminations.
I know. I like it. 7 elims, not the highest we've seen today, but I mean, honestly, respectable given the fact that that's pretty much higher than a lot of teams and players we've looked at so far. And Shifty is moving. That man is within the maze. He's over at the hedges, and that maze can get scrappy, but it looks like that's where a lot of the fighting is about to go down.
Yeah, it's going to be a maze, but that zone's going to actually pull back, and we saw the team we were talking about. I'm not too sure if they're here, but Destroy's actually going to be the ones taking over fire. Possibly see an early rotation out of them, because we're about to go into the 7th and final zone. The smokes are coming in, the right-hand side rotation. It's going to look good for them.
Gonna look good indeed. Here we go. We talked about it. You're not playing in the gas. You're not winning. We got a bit of a gas play coming out from Destroy, guy that I am personally a big fan of. He's all out aggressive. He's transferred his skills to multiple BRs. Warzone now he's found great success. And as the smoke is up top, there's going to be a finish. Good on him. The gas play pays off. We're down to 5 trios.
Choice and Coach is seeing a lot of cleanups coming in right here. The Cronin's going to be the weapon of choice. The nades are flying. It's getting crazy. People are still trying to find their way out the maze. Take a left. Always turn left. You know?
That's good advice.
Yeah, they're trying to get out. Destroy's going to hold it down. But those smokes are huge, right? They're going to get a couple players in. Evan, we're going to see him end game finally. That's hopefully a morale booster for them and Co.
Ooh. A lot going down on the rooftop, though, but I gotta have faith in him. Give him the fact. Oh, the high ground's been challenged. Destroy's gonna spot it out. That's gonna be a player drop, and he's now sent himself going down low. But the high ground, you don't want to give it up. 2 more trios to get through. And I believe there is going to be at least one, or at least a solo. There could be a couple of duos, but right now, it's looking like this is going to be the trio to win. High ground challenged once again. He goes up, he goes down. Good kill from Destroy. That puts him at now 4. We got one more, or should be 2 more players remaining. Zlaner's going to be dropping down low. Nobody to be found just yet, but I bet you they're around, Lucky.
Yeah, they're most likely hunkered up in that building, and it can get real scary here, you know? That first oxygen coming in for Zlaner, they don't want to make it as hard as it needs to be. It's going to be Crinks and them falling, and Z and Destroy taking it for game number 3.
Zlaner, Raul, Destroy. What a game that was. And I want to say, what, was it 13 elims, 14 elims, something
15.
like that? 15 elims, not bad at all. And Zlaner, I believe he picks up that final elimination, at least laying down the cover fire. And good on them for doing so, man. That's a big win. They had the high ground. Having high grounds, especially, well, other than game 2, which was just a water play, right? I mean, but still, because high ground beat a land play. But having that high ground, taking it quickly, playing in the gas, seems to be a recurring theme for success.
Yeah, they had a great rotation going 6.